So, EVs are taking the world by storm, and investors are already setting up camp with their favorite automaker. But unlike most races for technology in the past, this one is truly going to be a global one, and China isn't going down without a fight. Cue investors' new favorite growth stock, NIO. Welcome back to another video, and today my plant and I here thought we would give you a video on one of the most hyped up stocks right now, NIO. Now, I don't usually jump on bandwagons and invest in companies like this, nevertheless make videos about them, but I thought I would do one on this one. I am a Tesla investor and I know the EV space quite well, so here we go. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more, hit subscribe. Video every Monday at 9 p.m. EDT, 2 p.m. CST. Let's get going. Now, according to Bloomberg, global EV sales will go from 1.7 million in 2020 to 8.5 in 2025, 26 million by 2030, and 54 million by 2040. That comes out to compounded annual growth rate of 5.95%, or 2.15 million more EVs sold each year. If we give them an average sticker price of, let's say, 30,000, we get $64.5 billion US up for grabs additionally each year on average. Now, much of this will undoubtedly be sucked up by the big players like Volkswagen, BMW, Nissan, or Hyundai, or Audi. But the pure EV companies like Tesla, Rivian, Lucid, XPeng, and NIO will undoubtedly bite into their market share over time. And what they lack in size, they make up with quality. And they make pretty much the best EVs out there, take any measurement you want, and they also dominate the range game. I mean, NIO already offers more than 500 kilometers, all the way up to 600 kilometers range per charge, which is more than even Tesla. So not only do they undercut the Western companies when it comes to the actual price tag, but also how much bang you get for your buck. Now, range is not the end all be all, and in the future, range will become less and less of a thing, but it does say something about NIO's pace of innovation and their battery technology. So NIO's current lineup is made up of the EC6, ES8, and ES6, three compact to full-sized SUVs. They range from $40,000 to $60,000, and you'll get a range anywhere from 400 to 600 kilometers, depending on what pack you go for. Again, this is more range for your buck than with Western competitors, but range isn't everything. And they are also planning to launch the EP9, which is supposedly the world's fastest EV, and as well as their concept car, the two-door station wagon, the NIO Eve. So hopefully they will expand their lineup in the future, but for now they're sticking to SUVs. Now, unfortunately, I guess, but maybe not for investors, NIO only operates in China, where they only sold 20,500 cars in 2019, and they're on track to deliver anywhere from 30 to 40,000 cars this year. So we're talking about an upstart company here with a small scale operation. And their main rival in terms of size, I guess, is XPeng, which is on pace to deliver just about 40,000 cars this year. NIO might also make it to 40,000, so the range is actually quite close here. And the cars in terms of quality and range are quite similar. So investors are probably eyeing these two companies and deciding between one of them. Now, in comparison to these small upstart companies, the big player in China, Tesla, delivers more than 50,000 cars each month and can deliver everywhere from 200 to 400,000 cars in China alone next year. And that is before the Model Y has started shipping. Now, NIO doesn't necessarily directly compete with Tesla's flagship, the Model 3, but I do think the Model Y can become a bit of an issue, but for now they are in their own little niche. NIO is of course trying to differentiate themselves from competitors with battery swap programs, home charging technology, and designer bottles. Although I like the idea of something more than a brand, I wouldn't get lured in by big names like NIO Life, NIO Power and NIO House. They're nice add-ons, but they're not exactly generating cash yet. And we're not talking about commercial battery packs, power walls, or virtual power plants here. But I think NIO's best chance of differentiating themselves and standing out from competitors is their battery swap program. Now, if you have a NIO car, you can drive into a NIO exclusive battery swap spot where they can swap your battery in a couple of minutes and get you on the road again instead of charging for 20 minutes plus. This is a service only available for NIO car owners. And they also have an internal swap program where customers can actually swap the battery pack of their current cars to the bigger ones they are developing now. So customers can already swap to the 100 kilowatt hour pack up from, let's say, 75 kilowatt hour, giving you a nice range boost without having to put up the money for a new model. Now, I think this is all well and good, but as range becomes a bit of a non-issue, and the fact that you can actually swap your battery pack in any EV, maybe it's easier for a NIO customer, I don't think the added revenue from the battery swap program will be all that much. But hey, it's a nice start, and the fact that they're able to quickly swap or change the battery across all their models do give them a very streamlined operation and can keep customers within their ecosystem. Now to the numbers. Now, we don't have that many years to go on, but in 2018 and 2019, NIO generated $720 and $1.13 billion in revenue, respectively. That's a quick jump of 63%. 2020 revenue is anyone's guess, but it's looking like a jump from 2019, albeit not a 63% one. The company is safely in the red for now, although on a good trajectory, is still losing hundreds of millions of dollars each quarter despite growing revenues. But as is often the case with upstart companies, the trajectory is actually more important than the actual numbers. So you should look at revenue growth and the declining growth rate of the losses. Now, their net income is improving and cost seems to be dwindling. But this isn't necessarily a good sign. What really matters is NIO's ability to drive revenue growth and meet demand. And with money coming in, they can even increase costs and go deeper into the red as long as they can meet the demand and the capital backing is there. With an increasingly negative cash flow and mounting debt, the company's balance sheet is shaky at best. But like many other companies before it, a surging stock price and hopefully strong revenue growth can get them through almost anything. Besides, I'm not a huge numbers guy, especially not when it comes to upstart growth companies. However, caution is warranted, as flattening revenue growth and a subsequent lack of funding maybe can be a deadly mix for companies like NIO. Now, NIO does have savings of about $136 million in the bank, but it won't last long considering they had $1.15 million back in 2017. I don't think the company would have any troubles raising money, and indeed they don't, as they recently got a cool $1 billion in funding in the midst of a global pandemic, showing NIO's pull in the capital markets. Pressure margin is going to be tough, especially in an emerging industry like EV, where the competition is many-folded and tough. And many of the global automakers are already producing EVs at a loss, which NIO can't afford to do for all that long. And as the global EV makers' ability to push down prices and take advantage of the economy of scale, I think we will see some turmoil for the smaller companies. But like Tesla before them, the actual quality of the product is NIO's lifeline. Produce great products and customers will come, and the only thing NIO will have to worry about is meeting the demand for their fantastic products. Speaking of demand, China is the world's largest EV market, and with the government at its back, they're selling about 1 million EVs each year. And with the pressing air pollution issue, I can only see the incentives continuing. And besides the Tesla Model 3 and upcoming Model Y, The top 20 list of the most sold brand in China is also exclusively Chinese. Now, NIO's only contribution to this list, notably, is the ES6, but I think this comes down to their small-scale operations. And I'm sure that if NIO had comparable production capability of the other companies like BYD or Tesla, I'm sure all their 3 models would be on this list. This space is not only competitive but also crowded, but I don't think it will be for long. And as Tesla introduces the Model Y, I think some of the Chinese automakers will start to struggle, especially the ones that have been focusing on SUVs, since they now have a direct competitor from a much larger company and sophisticated company, Tesla. So I do think we will see some consolidation in the Chinese companies, and it will be interesting to see who can make it and who will have to be bought up or go under. NIO had its debut on the New York Stock Exchange on September 14th, 2018, and has surged more than 300% since then, from just about $9.9 to about $41.6 as of November 6, 2020. The stock didn't do much for almost 2 years until mid-2020 when it started skyrocketing. This scares some investors in, but lures in others. And the Chinese automakers is already larger than companies like Northrop Grumman, General Motors, or Waste Management. Now, whatever you expect from NIO stock, don't expect it to happen. The wild swings will most likely continue, and it's going to be a bumpy ride. The share price moves dramatically from day to day based on speculations, leaked numbers, or news about upcoming models. But of course, this is potentially one of the world-leading companies within 5 to 10 years. Not saying it will happen, but that's what you should be betting for in a company like NIO. So, big risk, big reward. The company is headed by its CEO William Li, or the Elon Musk of China, as he's dubbed. He seems to be a quite nice fit for the company. He's a young, hungry, successful billionaire investor and entrepreneur, and has previously founded, ran, and later sold off several quite successful medium-sized tech and transportation companies. And since he started NIO back in 2014, he has mustered backing from companies like Lenovo, Tencent, Baidu, and Sequoia Capital. So this guy knows how to get a company up and running. Now, Li seems to want to follow in Musk's footsteps, creating high-quality EVs with home battery charging and swapping solutions. He's also going after autonomous cars, although he has fallen behind Tesla in that department. Now, Li was always worried about Tesla and Elon Musk taking over China, worries that turned out to be well-founded. But I think NIO might be dancing around Tesla a little bit, going with SUVs and battery swapping technology instead of the Model 3 with the supercharger network. Now, this will all change with the Model Y, but I think NIO's ability to adapt might shine through here because of their choice of going with SUVs and not directly competing with Tesla's Model 3, which I think at this point would be a suicide mission. The word visionary is thrown around a lot these days. Instead, I would categorize William Li, as a young, tech-savvy risk taker. He's running a small but tight ship against bigger and larger competition. A scary prospect, you might say, but one investors tend to like betting on. He might not be the next Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, but what if he is? So what's the deal about NIO? Well, I think the prospect of investing in a fast-growing company in a secular trend ran by a young, tech-savvy CEO with the capital markets behind him, it has been a recipe for success in the past, and investors are betting on it once again. Now, I'm quick to jump into companies and give them a chance, just like I did with Amazon and Tesla back in the day before they became big, but my gut feeling, not quite there with NIO and William Li. Now, they might be in a secular trend, but it's just about the most crowded and competitive trend I've ever seen, with every single automaker on the planet gunning for first place. And it's also an industry dominated by my largest holding and favorite company on planet Earth, Tesla. And I see Tesla as a big problem. I can't invest in NIO and Tesla. One is a company that dominates wherever they go. They sell the most EVs at the best prices with the best technology. They have the best self-driving capability. They have the best factories, the best CEO. They have the most attractive stock, probably the world's hottest brand, as well as the world's leading battery supply and technology. On the other hand, you have an upcoming EV maker that shows great promise within China, but that's all I see. Now, I think NIO will grow in China and eventually abroad, but Tesla will always be there, and I can't invest in both. I don't see any point investing in NIO when you have Tesla. Tesla covers it all types of EVs, autonomy, manufacturing, and energy. And NIO is a laggard, and they only produce EVs. And I think once Tesla vertically integrates, shoring up their battery supply and producing their own battery cells, which, let's be honest, other companies will have to lease or somehow buy or source from Tesla, I think it's pretty much game over. I think Tesla will take most of the market, and other big players like Volkswagen or Toyota, I guess in time, can take some of the rest. But I think niche, pure EV companies like Rivian and NIO and XPeng and Lucid and so on will carve out their niche and indeed become successful companies showing tremendous growth. And will become very profitable companies, and I'm sure they will become great investment, but I'm just not buying it. I'm sticking with Tesla. So all in all, I think NIO shows promise, and I think in the long run it will be a good investment, but not a fantastic one, and that's what we're all looking for. So that's my 2 cents on NIO. We don't have much to go on. The company's been public for 2 years. Let's give them a chance. I think China is way ahead, at least NIO and XPeng, in terms of EVs compared to their Western counterparts. But I do see Tesla as a problem, especially since Tesla's main market and where they are doing the best is actually in China. So that's that. Let me know what you want to see in my next video. Give me your opinion on NIO, Tesla, or XPeng, or whatever it might be. And I think I'll just see you in my next video.